Okay, we are back after a 2-week break. Just make sure everyone was back together and good to go. So, who remembers what happened 2 weeks ago?
Let's
A
see.
long 2 weeks.
It has been. We are after, I believe, Berwyn Flax.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. On Laran 9K. And this is a not like there's already been kind of a sector-wide dragnet, and we're trying to get this guy before he goes to ground.
Yeah, that's right. You were sent to Laran 9K. Baron Flax is Berwyn Flax is the he's the headmaster of the Schola on Laran 9K, and he has been using the correction thrones to basically brainwash the kids. Instead of brainwashing them for the Imperium, he's brainwashing them for the Ebony Syndicate.
You're not supposed to do that.
That's against the rules.
Only I may dance.
And yeah, so
we had arrived and they were busy purging some unproperly brainwashed students, as I recall. We rescued them or something.
Yep.
Yeah, they the ones who would be normally doing the hunting down of strays were being hunted down as strays by the indoctrinated ones. Sometimes it'd be like that.
you have successfully killed the indoctrinated stormtroopers and have sent the kids who you saved to secure basically the entrances that they can find. And I believe you're going undercover as members of House Adela, looking for recruits for your
the dueling school.
to be trainers.
Can't let it go.
Well, I mean, you did a lot of work with that. Plus, it's good cover. So yeah, I believe
That
you.
was a good callback. So come on.
Yeah, it is. We basically set up an entire Dark Heresy campaign for somebody else.
We could play that Dark Heresy campaign.
We could.
Well, we could do definitely do a season 2 if everyone's feeling it. But let's see here.
Trials of House Adela.
If I ever get my spoons in order, I was thinking of trying to run you guys in a Mega Man thing.
That'd be fun. Let's see here. Okay. So yeah, you've touched down, met up with other inquisitorial groups. Well, actually just one. And I believe you're still in like the frozen swamps. You were just making your way towards the actual Scholar like facility itself.
Yep, that's right.
All right. So you find yourselves in a frozen swamp. You have stripped the gear off of these dead stormtroopers.
Oh yeah, we got that plasma gun.
Yep.
Um.
And yeah, taking off the armor, you see that they're very young. They're probably in their late teens, early 20s.
And that was dialed up a bit to make us feel less guilty about this.
I mean, I actually looked up like Schola Progenium on the 40K wiki, and they do mention that the kids who aren't like brainwashed by the correction throne are sent out into the like killing fields, and then stormtroopers just hunt them for sport.
Yay!
To both train them and to like get them to like get used to just killing people.
Clean up your mess.
So it's not like I just came up with that whole cloth.
Oh yeah, I know, it's 40K. The world is a dick.
The world is a dick. All right. So, what would you all like to do?
So we're in the fields, and are they within like marching distance of the campus? Like, are they literally like released on foot?
Yeah, you can see the campus in the back, like farther away. It's probably about 500 meters to actually walk towards it, but you do see it's like large, the large walls, the towering buildings of the actual Schola itself in the distance.
Did we do anything with the people we rescued? Send them somewhere?
You had told them to go and secure entrances and exits and await your orders.
Seems good.
If I get up suddenly, my cats have been weird the last couple days, and I need to go check on them.
Cats being weird is like normal for
job.
cats.
Yep.
Cats being weird is normal. There we go. I knew I could make it a little more. All right.
Oof.
Well, I suppose we should go
Start.
to the place.
Yep.
The only question is, oh yeah,
Maybe-
so we've got our story and everything. Let's march the fuck
Let's-
in there and be like, we're House of Della, bitch.
I got another thing we can do while we're seeing off the ones we saved. When they do one of these hunts, do they have some sort of radio all clear to march back into the court? Like, okay, hunt's over, we're all coming back now?
The guy you were talking to,
Mhm.
so you call him back and you ask him that. He's like, I'm not sure. I've never been sent on one of these hunts before. Well, wasn't expecting to go out as the actual one being hunted.
Right, but that's what I'm thinking is like we could maybe spoof them if there's a protocol for, returning to base after that. We could have them send it.
I couldn't tell you, sir. I'm sorry. I'm not
okay.
aware.
All right. Well, that doesn't matter then. Let's march in and go House of Della, bitch. I tried my
learn
way.
how to
Let's do
duel.
ours way.
Because we're good at that.
Hell yeah.
All right. So it's a pretty quiet march going through. The swamp is, frozen, so it's not like you're getting sucked into the mud, but there's definitely like dips of areas where like the kind of cold, brackish water gets up to your knees. But after about 20 minutes, you manage to make your way through the swamp and get to the actual wall of the Scala. There is a opening that has been barred and sealed.
Okay.
Opening like a door.
It's like a gate that opens directly into the swamp. And there are towers next to it, like along the wall.
Is there some sort of a knocker or bell?
Well, you got to get closer to the door to see if there's anything.
Okay.
I will, before we do that, look, see if I can tell if those towers are manned.
Okay, go ahead and make an awareness roll.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, that's probably smart. There's probably snipers in there.
I suspect.
The glass is kind of dark.
Wait. I've got that new thingamawhat's. I forgot I added that bonus in. So that would be exactly 1 degree of success.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the glass is dark, but you do actually see some figures like walking behind it. So as far as you can tell, there is somebody within the tower.
Okay, I'll pass that news on.
Hmm.
How do you want to play this?
We could send Chewie up and see if they shoot him.
You're not wrong.
We could get one of these poor saps that we rescued, but we know he's gonna get shot, so maybe not him.
So should we change his name to Dave?
I guess not. I was gonna say it'd be nice if we could just strip the ones we killed of their gear, give it to them, which I think we did, and then just have them pose as the guys we killed.
You did strip the guys of their armor. The armor is pretty damaged from,
Hail of bolter rounds.
And don't forget, you actually do have a stormtrooper who went to this Scala with you. He's your Dave 3.
Oh yeah. He has a sacred mission.
He just doesn't know it yet.
They all come back for my Dave martyrdom in the dark. Well, we might as well just approach if we're not gonna specifically stealth our way in. I mean, I'm still down for that if you want to try to like hack the door or find another entrance.
I mean, is this like the main entrance, or is this just like the swamp gate where they send people for the murdering?
I think the latter sounds more.
Perhaps we could circle the compound and see if there is perhaps a main road or entrance.
Yeah, your stormtrooper, who is just a number, so I'm going to call him Dave for the purpose of making this easier, he just mentions, yes, this is just the gate for releasing into the hunting grounds. This is not the main entrance.
Let's go for that then.
Okay.
Let us hike to the main entrance.
It's this way, and he just kind of like leads you around.
Okay.
And eventually you do wind up at a large opening. So here there are two very tall, stout towers. You can see people manning it, as well as a number of tarantula auto turrets. The gate itself is very large, and it could probably allow a Lehman Russ through. It is so large and wide.
Probably templated similarly to Imperial Guard forward bases.
Yeah, it's similar to it from your experience.
Cool. I suppose that might also mean I'll know what to look out for in terms of security checkpoints, if there's anything sus going on.
You would have an idea based on your Imperial Guard knowledge, not necessarily a Scala, but you could do a Imperial Guard common lore test.
Okay.
To see if it matches at all.
If it's common lore, then I roll it at a +10 because I have training in Scholastic lore Imperial Guard.
Okay.
I believe that's the rule. It didn't matter. None of this matters.
While you're very familiar with how Imperial Guard checkpoints are set up, and you're hoping maybe that the Scala sets up their buildings in the same way, you're not sure.
Okay. I'll just tell them best I've got is an educated guess. We're just going to have to keep our eyes open, stay on our toes.
All right. So you are probably about 30 meters from the entrance to the actual gate itself.
Let's
Gar?
hoist the House of Della flag.
Yeah, if we're doing this, let's do this. Let the spider kissing commence.
Okay. So
Sorry, go ahead.
you walk up to the gate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Gar.
Do you want me to do one last awareness for, like, immediate hazards, or since we're doing the overt
Couldn't
thing?
hurt. I mean,
Yeah, like if there's, like, mines or some shit.
let's all roll away.
That looks like
Wait. I do have a bonus now. I forgot I have that scanner.
That looks like a bottle cap. Let's walk over it.
As far as you can tell, it looks okay.
Hang on,
Okay.
I still need a roll.
You don't see anything out of the ordinary, I guess, is from what you know of Scalas and what you would know of Imperial Guard fortifications. It looks to be a standard security setup.
Okay.
Tigo, you look around and you see there are guards. Like there's the towers every like 50 meters, and there are guards in each tower along ringing the wall. So it does look like this place is pretty secure. And you do actually see a large tower in the center that you can see anti-aircraft guns mounted to. But if you were to confer that with Watchmaker, he would be able to have enough knowledge of Imperial Guard settlements to set that no, that was in fact a standard setup.
Okay. I think I did.
All right. So the gates are open. There are guards standing at the entrance to the gate.
I assume we're not shooting our way in if we're going House Adela.
I mean, you certainly could.
We're here for
Your
your
House
best
of Della
sword
here to
masters.
conquer you. You've been annexed.
Just gun them all down. The survivors shall be recruited.
If we had more men and firepower, I'd be totally into that plan. But
I'm gonna.
Sometime we're gonna have to do another one of these campaigns, but it's just full Gar mode all the time.
I'll tell you what. I'll run you a Death Watch game where you can just obliterate everything you encounter, no matter what it is.
Good old Death Watch.
All right. The guards do see you approaching. Two of them unsling their guns, but keep them pointed at the ground. and another guard approaches you. Halt! State your business.
Greetings. We are the delegation of House Adela. Here recruiting students for our dueling school. You should be expecting us. We're on the list.
We weren't expecting anyone from House Adela.
Well, we're here.
He's right. We are here.
Nothing
May
he
we
said is a
enter?
lie.
I'm gonna radio this in. Did you walk here? And he looks down, and you guys are covered in swamp mud.
Yes.
We did land a bit of a ways from your settlement, yes.
Something about the landing codes, which we're on the list.
Let me go radio this in. And he steps back and starts to radio. You see him get on his Vox unit. Takes a few minutes, comes back. House Adela is not expected. Today or at all, for that matter. We're gonna
Fire that new guy.
We're gonna ask you to leave the grounds immediately.
Is there a reason that the school is closed to visitors?
The skull is not closed to visitors. You're just not on the allowed list.
Ah,
We weren't expecting you. No one radioed ahead to inform us, and nobody at command knows that you're who House Adela even is.
yes, well, that's because we are on the rise, you see. Soon you will all know who House Adela is. And I'm sure that if you don't treat us properly, it will be remembered.
Okay.
Makes a vague threat.
House of Blood will be the last
Actually,
words
let me
he ever utters.
Can
I'm
I?
gonna-
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go for it.
I was gonna say, can I try an influence roll to really present the impression of legitimacy of House Adela?
Yes, you can.
Like, instead of just a bunch of randos in the woods, like, coming out from the swamp, we're heavily armed, disciplined,
You're heavily armed. Let's go with that.
and very rogue trader. Do you have any idea who I am in our air?
Yeah, go ahead and make an influence roll.
I will try an influence roll.
I like it.
All right.
I do too.
You did actually also secure House Adela credentials ahead of time. So you do go ahead and show him. And you're in luck because the Inquisitor running House Adela in the background was able to secure some influence with the sector governor. So House Adela actually has a little bit of a blip of influence
Yes.
outside of their immediate area.
Yes.
So he takes a look. Oh my! Let me get the drill. Let me get the drill, Abbott, and we can discuss this with him.
Understood.
So
And I'm just gonna be like taking the role of like the guard who's always 1 1/2 steps away from get down, Mr. President, near Gar. Just like looks like he's trying to look more chill than he is, like Secret Service on duty kind of thing.
okay. So the guard you've been speaking to heads back, gets on his Vox unit again. He's on the Vox unit. For a few minutes, you see him attempting to keep his composure, but is getting a bit animated. At which point he hangs up on the Vox unit, comes back, says, the drill Abbott will be here in just a moment.
Thank you.
Lovely. You may not be fired today, sir.
Bit of a cannon.
Okay. So takes about 20 minutes, but eventually a drill Abbott waltz out. He is in the robes of a priest. He has a holy book chained to his waist, as well as several different religious scriptures that are pinned to the robes, and he also is carrying a massive warhammer.
Cool. Gar greets him with, what is the meaning of this? We've been waiting here for an hour.
He takes the end of the hammer and he just taps it against your chest. Who are you?
Why, I'm Lord, what was it, Herman? Herman Adela,
Uh-huh.
here to visit your dueling school.
Well,
your school.
For our dueling school.
I hope to recruit some of your graduates for higher education at our dueling school. Famed throughout the sector.
All right. Well, we weren't expecting you, and we don't like uninvited guests. You should have called ahead.
We're amazing house guests, invited or not.
We're courteous as shit.
You arrive on foot. We haven't heard anything about any ships landing nearby. I've only barely heard of House Adela, and you show up, and what exactly? And he just looks at like this motley crew, like this Cybermastiff and Arbites.
Pants.
Actually, I guess you're all in Carapace at this point.
We are very heavily armored and armed.
Yeah, we're like we would look pretty spiffy if it weren't for the swamp mud, I think. And I'm gonna go ahead and blame him for the swamp mud and be like, look, your control towers wouldn't approve our landing codes, and this is a terrible insult, to be honest. We had to walk through your damn swamp, and really we're quite put out for this treatment.
And you're here to look for someone to join your talent for your dueling school, you say?
We are, yes.
Let's see. How do you want to lead into this guy to convince him to let you in? He is a member.
Charm him.
All right. Oh, he is a member of the Adeptus Ministorum, so he's one of the priests. If you have any influence that lets you.
I have. Hold on, I have something for that.
I thought Gar did, but I could not remember.
Hooray. I was gonna say, I was thinking what we could do is kind of aggrandize the House Adela story in the telling to be about how, like, we're basically looking for the best protection that the Imperium can give us after rooting out a heresy, and we think that there's retribution coming, and that's why we want neutral guards, and that kind of gives us a... They might think they're planting spies for themselves with us if they think we're useful idiots. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. We'll let Gar.
So I seem to have like not copied the whole description for this or even the name of it, but the character has good reputation among chosen group with bonus to fellowship tests increases to +10 times X. I don't seem to have copied what X is though.
All right, we can take a quick look.
Is this ringing a bell for anyone?
So what's this part of? Is it part of your background?
No, it's a talent.
Oh, what was the? Do you remember what the talent's called?
No, that's the problem. I tried to find it.
I'm just gonna take a quick peek. I think I know what it is, but I cannot for the life of me remember what it's called. But it is Peer. Yeah, I think it's Peer. Character has a good reputation among chosen group with bonus to fellowship tests increases to +10 times X. Okay.
Yeah.
And you increase your influence by 1. So basically, I believe you can choose.
This also does not say what X is.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Yeah, that's why that's a quick reference, but that's okay because I have a
spider.
Yes, but I will not kiss this spider as we're obsessed. There we are, Pierre. All right. Necolate knows how to deal with a particular social group or organization, or even Xenos race. He gains a +10 bonus to all fellowship and influence tests when interacting with his chosen group, and can sometimes be called upon them for favors. They may agree, blah, 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 to award this talent when appropriate to the adventure campaign. Although, honestly, Gar's definitely earned it by this point. Okay, it can be awarded multiple times, which is what I figured, and should be listed as Peer X with X equaling the number of times it's been awarded. So if you have Peer 1...
I only took it once as far as I recall.
Yeah, so you're getting a +10, not like a +20 or anything. Game terms, the bonus...
my command is strongest.
Okay.
I'm just going to be like...
So you don't
must let us in.
You're not going to technically have any authority over him, so this command test will be at a -10.
Very well.
So charm is more appropriate.
You could definitely try and charm your way in, yes.
My charm at +10 is the same as my command at -10.
Oh.
So it actually doesn't matter. But I guess charm is more appropriate, so let's try and charm it.
Okay.
Charm +10. Be charmed, I'm so charming.
Okay. Just tell me what you say to him to try and charm him, so I can use it against you later.
I'm going to continue with the blustering and acting like I'm very insulted. Be like, we've been waiting here for hours. We're very important members of House Adela, and you know, as we rise to power in the sector, you will regret insulting us, I must say.
All right, come with me. We can show you some of our duelists here. See if there's anybody who hasn't already been earmarked for
Good.
other members of the Imperium.
Good.
So he walks you through. Now you will need to check your weapons at the gate. Is that acceptable?
Good question.
Maybe we can argue for your Tigo's melee weapons because he's our duelist instructor, and one of my guns because I'm your bodyguard.
I like that. I think that's reasonable. My dueling instructor here will need to keep his melee weapons, and my bodyguard will need to keep his sidearm. But other than that, we'll check our weapons.
Okay. Go ahead and make another charm test because it's two different tests. Just see if you can convince him of that. Oh wow.
Nice.
Very well. You can keep one melee weapon and you can keep one sidearm.
All right, I will keep my storm bolter because it's already. Oh wait, no, I keep thinking of that the bracer mounted storm bolter is default. It's not. I do have a bolt pistol, but I would love to get away with carrying a bolt gun or the storm bolter.
Which one would you like?
If they're not going to complain, I'll keep the storm bolter.
Okay. And which weapon is Tigo keeping?
I guess I'll keep one of my power swords.
All right. The rest of you just unload this basically pile of weapons onto a table. As Watchmaker drops down the plasma gun, the drill abbot picks it up, looks it over. Thought it looked familiar, but...
No. I guess if you didn't notice, I shouldn't say something to draw more attention to it. I was just going to play it off as like, it's a common pattern. I've served with a multitude of arms masters in my time, as you can see. Bolt gun, long las, bolt pistol. I take my job very seriously.
Yeah, he looks it over and just puts it back on the table. Ooh, excuse me.
Now, we'll expect these in the same condition we left them here in when we leave.
Sir, I'll inspect them myself.
Yes. We have no intention of causing any trouble. All right, come with me. I'll give you a quick tour of the grounds.
Cat. I'm sorry. Continue. I must pet the cat.
And so he just brings you around the Scala. Now, this is a large... he gives you, like, the overview. So, the Scala covers approximately 3,000 square kilometers between both the facility itself and the surrounding fields where we do a lot of our training. We are training members of the Commissar. We are training the Imperial Stormtroopers, people who will go on to join the Adeptus Sororitas, the Arbites. We may even see some Inquisitors come from this Scala, but we're not sure. We try our best to make sure our students live up to their fullest potential. We have several people who have excelled in combat with swords and other melee weapons.
Come on.
And he just brings you by different, like, you see students who are practicing marching. He takes you by a small field where they're doing grenade tests, and you see one grenade, like, fall and explode, and one student get flipped up into the air, missing his legs.
Oof.
Medic!
I see our training is rigorous.
Yes, very. A medic comes out, does a quick assessment of the student, and pulls out a gun and shoots him in the head.
Meanwhile, at Canadian Bacon Academy.
Yes, that student has proven to be his scores were below what we would expect from him. This was his final mistake.
I see.
Yes, we're very intolerant of mistakes at our school as well.
Well, I'll gather together some of our expert swordsmen and see if you would be able to recruit any of them. In the meantime, I have to step away.
Sounds delightful. However, it has been a long journey. Perhaps you could assign us quarters, and we could rest and have a meal.
I can bring you to get some food, but we don't have any available quarters. Our Scala is currently at full capacity. Sans one.
That's absurd. How can you have no place to house guests?
Well, we normally don't get guests.
That's absurd.
Blasphemy. All fights are necessary.
What about all the people that are dead outside? This is not a character, by the way.
He doesn't know about that. He points to a tent. I think there's some sleeping bags there.
Disturbing. Fine, we will accept your tent.
I'll get it serviceable, sir.
Good. Take over the tent.
While you're being pointed to the tent, you see a aide come up to the drill abbot and start to whisper something to him. And the drill abbot just, I'll take care of it in just a moment.
Is there any talent that could let you eavesdrop?
Yeah, roll.
You can make an awareness roll, but the aide is attempting to make it so you can't hear. So this awareness roll would be at it'd be at a -20.
All right. And I'm going to assume I can't whip out my scanner for this, so I won't include it in the roll.
You cannot whip out a scanner, no.
Should I fate this? I'm guessing they
Oh,
just
I did
found
it.
some
I got it.
bodies. Okay, cool.
That was with the negative. Wow, yeah. All right. Eve Ward is pretty used to hearing or overhearing conversations, having suspects attempt to avoid being heard. And you hear the aide go to the drill abbot and say, some special items are missing from the armory. Last checked out by Headmaster Flax.
All right, I'll keep that to myself and make a note to remind everyone later.
Nice.
Okay.
We might need to find a way to delay him getting that information because these guys wouldn't know that means that the Inquisition is here, but he probably would. If that makes sense.
Who? Flax?
Yeah,
or...
Flax, like, if he finds out that the plasma gun that he gave to his guys who were killing incorrectly indoctrinated soldiers, then he might be able to piece 2 and 2 together.
Okay. Well, you'll find out eventually, don't you worry.
Well, I don't like that.
You don't like me just, like, making Play-Doh snakes? Let's see here. Alright. But you find, you do in fact find some sleeping bags in this tent. There's a lot of students in here who are wearing basically like the black jumpsuits that are the standard uniform of the Scala. They see you as you walk in, but are disciplined enough to not say anything.
All right. We've sort of infiltrated.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Sort of. Sopan.
So whose fingers do we want to break?
Everybody's?
For more information.
Good question. I will be right back. I need to get more coffee.
Get to
Has
cough.
anyone taken interest to our Dave?
Well, your Dave is decked out in stormtrooper armor. and has kind of...
Let's play.
You've had a few people look at him and wondering why a stormtrooper is following you around, but for the most part, no one's mentioned anything.
Little do we know, he's already aroused suspicion in the background.
Can we do like a scrutiny to see if anyone's like keeping a special eye on us?
Yeah, go ahead and make a scrutiny roll.
Scrutiny.
I'm back.
Hi, Beck.
I don't know if
Scrutiny?
you have better scrutiny than I do. Yeah.
What are we scrutinizing?
See if
Anybody's
anyone's
watching
like
us?
keeping an eye on us.
I got us.
Okay.
I'd be
I mean-
surprised if they weren't.
You see some of the students of the Scala who are like glancing over to you and like trying to figure out why you have an Imperial Stormtrooper with you, but are just kind of like glancing over, thinking about it for a second, glancing
Not
back. But it's you got like at least 6 people doing this that you can see.
To not follow up worthy.
We killed them all. I'm just kidding. Or am I?
Well, really, that's all up to you.
We did
I
it.
guess-
We saved the Scala.
I guess are we like in our little tent right now, or like by our tent?
You're the tent, and you're sharing it with like a dozen other students.
Oh, okay.
But they have a few spare sleeping bags. Actually, I should probably put the Dave down so I don't forget that he exists.
The Dave.
Dave 3.
Is this Dave? Yes, it is.
Are you just gonna use the same icon for every Dave? Just change the number from 3, 4, 5, 6.
No, I use different tokens.
Maybe for the next game we'll have a permanent Dave indicator.
This is Dave.
I'm just gonna keep this like stormtrooper next to you guys so I don't forget that he exists. Because until you kill him, I kind of forget that they do things. Alright. So you are in a tent, you have a bunch of students who are kind of like looking over at you, trying to figure out what the heck is going on.
What's going on?
You're in your tent, you have a bunch of students who are trying to figure out who you are, why you're here, why you have a stormtrooper with you.
We kicked them out of the tent.
And
This is Pasadella's tent while we're here. These are our quarters.
you should just recruit them all and then use them to infiltrate from the inside out.
I feel like we're probably not gonna beat the mind control chair as far as indoctrination goes.
Have you met Gar?
You do raise a point.
Does Gar actually try to kick them out?
I'll consult with my team first. Would you guys like to try and use some of these assets here?
Well, at the moment
Knock them, or
they're a
choice
source
to
of
do in space?
information, if nothing else.
Yeah, but can we trust any of them?
Oh fuck no.
When does the what part of the learning process does the brain sucking come in?
So the chair. So I guess you could ask Dave 3, who would know.
Yes, tell us, Dave. Are these recruits here in the tent already brain processed, or?
He looks over. I couldn't tell what stage of training they're at. I could tell you when you arrive at the Scala, your name is erased and you were given the name of an Imperial hero. You go through basic training, and after a year or 2, depending on your training regimen, you are then put into the correction throne. The first couple years are meant to eliminate any traces of individuality, and the correction throne is meant to enforce that.
Okay.
Into the NPC machine with you.
Kinda.
No!
I was gonna like kind of gather the students that are there in the tent and be like, blah, 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 House Adela Dueling School. Tell us about yourselves and find out kind of how long they've been here.
All right.
Meet and greet, if you will.
How do I want to lead into this?
During the first seminar, and they didn't even know it.
I'm trying to figure out if this is going to be an inquiry. Yeah, you know what? For the group, just make it an inquiry test.
Okay. Should highest among us, or does it have to be Gar?
Perhaps someone else.
I can try.
Oh wait, inquiry. Right. I'm not good at inquiry. Oh well. Yeet. Wow. If you give me some
No one else
circumstance
has
bonus,
inquiry training. I'll just fade it.
Really?
Made it.
Yeah, I guess I could try. Nope.
the dice rolls are a fucking dick.
The fade.
Yes.
Nope.
I'll fade. I guess I'll fade it.
All right.
Finally. Like cartoon banana peel. Like.
All right. So at this point, it takes a little bit of like cajoling to get these kids to like open up. And so they just mentioned that they are all second-year students, and they do look to be pretty young. They are about 14 to 15, okay. You would reckon.
So these ones have probably not been given the chair.
You're not sure.
Second-year students, from what we've been told, we don't know. They could be fresh from the chair, or they could be headed there soon. We could just ask them about the chair, but if they've been brainwashed, they're not going to give us good information. So my conclusion is that they may be brainwashed, and we should secure the tent.
We could see if we can get them to tell us the process and see if it lines up with what we were told by our guy, by Dave, as if we're like, so tell us your selection process to get the best swordsman. Well, we're not just swordsmen. Tell me about your processes to get the best swordsman.
All right.
We can do that.
Just kind of read, like, if they give us the same breakdown of how the school works, then they're at least on the same page. If that makes, I'm gonna stop saying that fucking phrase. I feel weird lately. Sorry.
All right.
Weird.
Is the correction throne like a secret thing, or does everybody who knows about the school know that they have this thing?
Everybody at the Scala would know that they will eventually be going to the correction throne. And it's
Is it
not
like Scala private though? Like, should only people of the Scala know about it?
If you looked into it, like if you had enough information about how the Scala works, the entire system, you would probably know about the correction throne. It wouldn't necessarily be a secret. It would just be like something you would have to stick your nose into. But it probably would be in publicly accessible information.
Plus, we're a noble house.
Yeah.
We can just say, like, never you mind how we know. We know.
But we can just ask them directly.
How long since you stopped beating your wife?
I mean, we can just be like, how's that there correction throne treating you guys? You had your brain sucked by that yet? I hear it's pretty cool.
Love it.
I'm gonna ask them that.
Okay.
Raise your hand if you've had your brain sucked by this fancy correction throne we've heard about. Sounds awesome. We're trying to buy one at House Adela.
The financing is brutal.
Yeah.
Make a charm test.
Okay. Aww.
Set your back on fire. Oh, that's a command. Never mind.
Oh, I can, it would be my last fate point. Just use a fate point to auto-pass that.
We don't usually use that ability. We usually just do the reroll. So if nothing else, it's in character for our rolls. We'll just have to hope that the dice stop fucking us in the butt.
At this point, day 3 goes, sir, do you mind if I try?
Go ahead, Dave.
Cadet, report!
Nice.
And just snaps off like a very sharp command. They all snap to attention, at which point one of their look around is like, 3 of them step forward. We've gone and been to visit the correction throne, sir. You can still see you can still see the marks from where the needles entered. And if you look on their neck, you can actually see that they have like a ring of needle-like marks.
Ooh.
I wonder if we could figure out which specific throne got hacked so we can trace it back and figure out which ones we can trust. Maybe that should be what we do while
Yeah,
we're
more
getting the
than one.
tour.
I thought we were dealing with one throne.
Is there only one correction throne in the whole complex, or are there multiple?
Looking at day 3, I only went to one, sir.
Well, maybe we could hack some schematics or blueprints and figure out if there's multiple chambers. Stuff we can look out for on the tour. Maybe when we get the tour, we can go, I demand to see the correction throne.
I've heard so much about this thing.
I think I like that idea, actually. Continue to say the loud part loud.
All right. So you're basically in this tent with these students. You've identified a few of them who have already gone to the correction throne.
Okay.
All right.
The needles leave scars?
You could tell, apparently.
They're very tiny, like pinpricks.
Could you notice them?
They
if you
probably
were
would
looking for it?
fade with time.
So only recent throne visits will be obvious.
Yeah, if you ask Dave 3, he'll show you that he'll like pull down the collar of his like armor as best he can and show you about where the needle marks would be. You don't see any. They look to have faded.
Good to know. All right. Well,
I'll
we
be
haven't
right
been
back.
told there's no place we can't visit. Maybe we can just find like base level hospitality and explore within that bound. Like they haven't told us don't roam from outside the tent, so we can look around the grounds.
True.
Just act all presumptuous like we're allowed to because we're fucking rich.
Okay. As you exit the tent, you actually bump into another drill abbot, different from the one you had spoken to before. Like, you're members of House Adela. I've been told you are looking to recruit people for your dueling school.
Yes.
All right. I've been authorized to show you around. The drill abbot you were speaking to previously has to deal with some training matters, so I'm free to just escort you around and show you our duelists.
Thanks.
Please, we would love to see your finest duelists, and we'd like to see your whole facility and learn about your training methods.
All right. Well, come with me.
Any.
If you'll come with me, I can show you where we are training our students right now.
Excellent.
And he leads you into the facility, down some hallways, and to a room that has been set up to be a little dueling ring. It's similar to the dueling ring that you had seen at the Noble Retreat. It's like the circle on a kind of like stone floor. Whereas House Vixis had nice marble tiling, this is basically just flat ferro concrete that has had a like ring spray painted onto it.
Okay.
The inside students are wearing the jumpsuits and are dueling with swords. One of them slips and the sword chops into his arm, and you can tell that the blade itself is actually sharp, as opposed to the dull blade you'd expect from actual training.
Ah.
Medic! Medic comes out. inspects the wound, and stitches it back up. Okay. All right. You're out for right now. And another student takes the sword, and they get back into the ring and start to fight again.
I'll look over at Tigo as our sensei and say kind of, so what do you think?
Can I do an awareness just to like? Yeah, I guess it would be awareness.
Yeah, you could do like an awareness to determine their form if that's what you're wondering, like how good they are.
Yeah, that's,
Oh shit, his weak.
yeah.
They
God,
are.
these dice rolls.
Yeah, you passed. They're fine. Like you could definitely tell that they're beginning students. They definitely need to work on their form. They are really showing their like
Potential.
intentions. Yeah, like you can see what they're attempting to do, and that they are far better than like anybody else who is just getting started. They've obviously been working on this for a few months at least, and it's just the fact that Tigo has this experience with using swords. He can see like what they're doing. He can see when they're trying to feint, and just aren't the best at swords, but they can definitely are getting better.
Yeah, so I just nod and like I like point out to a couple of them that these are like the best ones, like off like initial impression.
Yep. You, the one who managed to chop into the arm of the other student, he is definitely like a lot faster. His movements are more precise, and he's far better at drawing in other students into making mistakes that he can then exploit.
Gar is kind of arms folded, nods sagely.
We have like marked him just between like silent words. That's day 4.
Nothing more needs to be spoken, baby.
The drill abbot who had brought you in, what do you think?
There's some potential among your students here.
Well, they're still learning. These are just the first year students as well. And they're definitely like 13 years old. They're not like these are just like barely teenagers. But
let's get the name of the one that Tigo noticed was a little bit quicker.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can find him later. And definitely not waste his life on some sort of mission.
Nah, we're just gonna turn him into the fucking next Dark Heresy game character.
The Spiralizer 2.0.
Son of Spiral.
Adopted son.
That the drill abbot looks. Yes, that is Tristan, named after the imperial hero Saint Tristan.
Ah, a fine hero to be named after.
Yes. He's definitely shown a lot of potential in his dueling skill. That needs to work on his shooting and needs to get his cardio up. A 20-kilometer hike, or a 20-kilometer jog, and he's starting to show his slow down a bit, so he's going to have to work on that. Right, Tristan? Yeah, snaps to attention. Yes, sir?
Good.
And you see a mixture of like attempt at professionalism, mostly fear at the drill abbot talking to him.
He's trying.
But we actually have better people who are very near to graduation who have shown great potential in their swordsmanship.
Well, lead on.
Of course. Brings you out to a number of recruits who are definitely older. They're in their 20s. This class is in their final year. They are preparing to graduate in the next couple of months, at which point they will be dispatched to various branches of the Imperium, serving whoever needs them. Most of them have been earmarked, but we have a few people who I think may be good for your dueling school.
Excellent. We are, of course, always looking for students and for new instructors as well. So we'll be interested to meet some of them. Tell me, we've heard tell of a device used here at the Scola to really fix the conditioning of the students in place. Could you tell us more about that? I'm interested in acquiring one.
The correction throne?
Is that what it's called?
Yes. The correction throne is dispatched only to Scala. They are not to be dispatched to anyone else as part of our agreement with the Adeptus Mechanicus.
I see. I see. I do have my own contacts within the Adeptus Mechanicus. Perhaps I'll be able to make an arrangement. It's hard to say. Would you be able to demonstrate the operation of the device?
Currently, this Scala's correction throne is off limits.
I see.
Sorry, this is simply this is a blanket rule for any of our guests. The correction throne must be treated with the utmost respect. Our Adeptus Mechanicus tech priest who administers the correction is currently not here, and the sacred rites have not been offered, and no students are currently scheduled to visit the throne.
Can I scrutinize, and maybe we could try to make an argument for seeing the throne without it being in operation?
Yeah, you can go ahead and roll a scrutiny on this dude if you'd like.
Oh my god! All right, I'll fade it.
Does he
I can scrutinize him as well.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Does he is he pretty much insinuating there's only one?
Yep, that's what it sounded like.
Okay. Running through the scrutiny, it's more that he just really doesn't want to show you the correction throne.
Okay.
So we could maybe lean on him a little bit.
I'll follow your lead because you're the one who passed that roll.
Let me say to him, I want to do this.
Sucks the donkey gonad.
I mean, since it's not an operation, it seems that there would be no harm in showing us the device at least. And why don't I do a?
You want to see space constraints for future planning.
I guess it would be a charm.
So he just goes, I can show you a picture of it. He has a data slate brought out, and he shows you a picture of this basically like slab of metal chair with a headpiece that like flips up over a line of needles that surround the neck and also would stab into the back of the head, as well as metal restraints on for the arms and legs.
Gee, threaten me with a good time.
Jeez, how big is this room?
Fascinating device.
The picture itself was taken up somewhat close, and all you can see is this like a beam of light illuminating the chair. The rest of the room is in darkness.
Let me see.
Are the students sedated before they're put in the chair?
Nope.
Ooh.
It's 40k. What would Melkor the Wizard do? That's how they do it in 40k, as a matter of course. This is the agonizer. You use it to pour cereal.
The Scala would definitely be proponents of the hot plate of learning.
Could we try... could we maybe try influence again to suggest, like... No, I don't think you understand. We're not on the rise. We are on the rise. We're not asking you how much it affords. We're asking you how to get one. Kind of thing. Or not how to get one, but like... We're beyond simple interest into somebody who might feasibly have a shot at getting one. Like, just try to project heirs.
On airs.
Yeah, I could go with, yeah, I'm quite certain my contacts among the hex priests will be able to arrange things
Like our
for our school. Perhaps we'll become an official Imperial Schola.
The drill abbot.
However, I'm quite certain that we'll be able to acquire one, and we really would like to inspect it. Perhaps this will ease your mind as I slide him a large sum of money.
The drill abbot just cuts in. Well, if you're certain you can secure a correction throne of your own, surely you'd be able to inspect that one.
Yes, of course. I would like to view the item before I purchase one, you see. And, I don't know, I'm going to do an influence roll to see if I can bribe him.
Alright, yep, go ahead.
Get bribed. Woo!
Nice! Critical bribe.
Damn, okay, so...
I was not expecting that.
Critical bribe.
This one, okay, so I actually had basically, like, already factored in a secret, like, negative to this, but you very easily passed, even including the... he takes the money for a second, and he hands it back to you. I can understand you wish to see this throne. Do not attempt to bribe me anymore, but let me talk to the headmaster and see if he will grant special permission. It is by his decree that the throne is off limits to all but his most trusted advisors. Please understand this is our only one, and if something were to happen to it, we would need to have it repaired or replaced, and that is not a simple matter.
Of course, we will treat the object with the utmost respect and have no intentions on, fucking with it.
No one will touch anything. Just kind of... I'll shoot a look at Chewie as if he's the problem child.
Chewie lifts up his leg and, like, spills a bunch of oil onto, like, the side of the building.
I thought you fixed that.
Bork!
Right.
Demonic presence showing itself.
Let me reach out to the headmaster. One moment, please. And he steps out of the room you're in and goes off down the hallway. All right. So you are currently alone with basically a bunch of, like, final year, like, seniors.
After looking at what those needles look like, can I tell how long a scar from that would last?
They are very, like, they're long, very thin needles. So they would punch in and leave very cleanly. So they probably would heal within the course of, like, a week. The actual wounds themselves would heal and scar over within the course of just a couple of days. And the actual, like, scars would probably only last for about a few months.
So we could identify anybody that's been there in the last couple months.
Yeah, probably.
We could probably get one of them to lead us there.
Oh, well, we're waiting for the guy to come back.
Yes.
I'm thinking. I don't do it well or often.
What kind of trouble could we get into?
Maybe we could...
You have to lick the correction throne.
I don't wanna.
It's
They wipe it
Selena's,
down
Stuck on the
after each
spikes.
use.
Blech.
it's Selena's orders. You gotta lick the correction throne to prove it's heresy. Were you asking if they wash it down?
Yeah, do they wipe it down after each use?
Well, you're hoping they do.
Self-cleaning.
Just chars it. Fucking sterile. Taste key lime pie.
So, I mean, I'm very suspicious of anybody who's near to graduation because I kind of assume they've been.
Yeah, and remind me, is Berwyn Flax the headmaster or just one of the Schola?
I think he was the headmaster.
I think so.
Yep, Berwyn Flax is the headmaster. And you'd also been told enough about Scholas and would know enough to know that most Scholas are run by a drill abbot, like just one single drill abbot. Because this is such a large one, there's multiple drill abbots and a single headmaster over them.
Okay.
And Berwin Flax, his actual background would be in your data slate.
Okay. Can we do some hacky shenanigans to continue to see the idea of House Adela's legitimacy while we're waiting for them to come back?
What would you like to do exactly?
I guess I wouldn't have access to hack anything in. I guess I could try to eavesdrop by comm leech.
You could definitely pull out the comms leech if you'd like.
Are they paying attention?
Well, the students are in the room. They have been lined up by the drill abbot, and because he didn't dismiss them, they are still in a line.
Tell you what I'll do is... Wait, no, I'm the only one who can tech use, damn. I'm gonna ask Gar and Tigo to grill the guys about their regimens and what they do and their marksmanship scores and all that shit, as if they're talent scouting, and while they're distracting them, I'll use the comm leech.
Okay. So there are 8 of them currently. So yeah, if Gar and Tigo and Eve would like to grill them, they would be... That's an interesting question, considering you're not technically lying to them. I would say this is probably a command test to have them tell you, what they all do. Especially because you're not the drill abbot.
So I'll command them to gather around and chat with us.
Okay. So go ahead and make a...
Gang of losers, gather around.
Okay, go ahead and make a command.
Come on!
These dice are fucking rude.
Whatever, burn the last fate point. Hopefully nothing bad happens.
99.
It's weird. You do have,
I'm not gonna look.
What the fuck? Alright.
Wow.
There is some banana shenanigans afoot. I'm telling you.
I know that feeling, yeah. It's like the one time you really need it to, roll good.
Can I try to pick up the spare and assist that command, because I've got the Imperial Guard command background? Just kinda...
They are Imperial Guard, but
they've got that kind of discipline drilled into them.
When you attempt to help somebody with a roll, you add a +10 for everybody assisting.
So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'll be Gar's backup dancer. That'll give him +10.
Okay. So we'll do it for that second roll after the second fate point. Second or third? Well, either way, the last fate point. So we'll say it rolled at an 81. So they do gather around Gar reluctantly. It takes a little bit of cajoling, but they eventually, especially as Gar does somewhat remind them of a drill abbot. Okay. So they all line up around Gar.
All right.
Right.
So Gar and Tigo and Eve will start interrogating them. Well, not actually interrogating them.
Okay. Well, let's start.
Back them up.
Gar, what would you like to ask them?
You there.
Sir?
What are your marksmanship scores in the last semester?
100 out of 100 in 14 different tests, sir.
Fantastic. And what is your I don't know.
Focus?
What's your primary weapon specialty?
Primary weapon specialty is las gun, sir.
Indeed.
While that's going on, I'll roll the tech.
You there? What's your specialty? I'll just keep asking them questions of this sort.
Finally.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. So, I guess we'll start with, we'll just finish up with what Gar was doing, and then we'll go to Watchmaker. Gar points to another member. And...
We're roll to see how good I ask them questions.
I mean, they were just telling you, surface information, especially with the fact that you did pass the command roll eventually. Just go, the other student just says, I will be assigned to the Arbites upon graduation, sir.
Ooh.
Home rep.
So let's see. Watchmaker. While they're all distracted with Gar. And I'm just gonna
Watchmaker things.
just do a quick roll here. Yeah.
Should I
Okay.
do like a sleight of hand or something to try to disguise what I'm doing?
I did a secret roll to see if they noticed, but they didn't roll high enough.
Cool.
You could do a sleight of hand if you'd like, just to make sure.
All right. Do I get any bonus on the roll from the distraction?
Yeah, I would say just plus 10, but
Okay.
they didn't roll super great, and they already had a negative for it. It doesn't matter. You're still fine in terms
Fuck
of
these
like
dice in the face.
they did not roll great. All right, so your tech use is successful. You're able to calmly chin, and you are able to hear the Drill Abbot talking to Berwin Flax.
All right.
They want to see the throne of correction, and you just hear the kind of gruff voice. Absolutely not. Nope. It's like, sir, people are getting suspicious. You're not in your office. Nope. Like they insist, sir. We think possibly putting people into House Della could have future benefits. Just goes quiet for like 10, 20 seconds. All right, just make sure they don't get close. Flax out, and it cuts off. Tigo, Eve, what would you like to ask these students?
Show me what you got.
Who here is experienced with chain weapons?
They all raise their hand.
Ooh, that's good.
Power swords.
Is anyone specializing in power swords?
We've not had use of power swords.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they're in for a treat.
Yeah.
How about bolt weaponry? Like, as I finish, I like join the conversation like I was just listening in.
We've trained in bolt weaponry, sir.
Good.
The Skola has a selection of training bolt weapons to use with dummy rounds. As well as several live ones.
Nods at that.
It's around this point that the drill abbot comes back. Well, I've spoken to the headmaster, and he has allowed you to view the correction throne. We just ask that you not approach within 5 meters of it.
Ah, delightful.
Understood.
Lead the way.
And so he brings you through different rooms, down halls, into deep within the actual Skola's main facility, until he eventually opens up a room. As you enter in, he barks an order, and a single light lights up the center of the room, showing the correction throne.
Is it an artificial light?
Yes, it is.
Well, we now know where it is and what it looks like.
It's like working.
So I guess we should approach to within our allowed approach
Distance,
and
yeah.
roll dice at it.
All right. So a couple of stormtroopers are there guarding it, and they are standing 5 feet from, or 5 meters from it. So as you approach, you can see that they are the limit to how close you can approach.
We'll approach. Gar hems and haws.
Yeah.
Yes, the restraints look very effective. Ah, yes, this drug delivery system seems ideal.
I'll
Etc.
Would a scrutiny or an awareness be better for really peering over the thing from the 5 meter distance?
Well, it depends.
Scrutiny is usually for people, but it's still a perception ability.
This would be more awareness to get a general overview than scrutiny.
Okay. I will use my scanner on this, but I will do it from a distance. Just be like, if you don't mind.
Sure.
It's just
Go ahead.
like a mundane scanner. It's not anything sexy.
He looks a little weirded out, but very well. Go ahead. Yeah. So the scanner shows that it is a ferroconcrete chair that has basic metal restraints, You see traces of blood that the scanner is picking up around the throne itself.
I'll actually kind of show it to him and say, not like loudly or dismissively, like just kind of as a disciplinarian thing. Like you need to work on the cleanup after you're done.
Oh, but sir, you don't understand. That's part of the correction throne's function.
It's like a cast iron pan.
Yeah.
It's at the back of the correction throne. There's a tiny terry cloth towel and a tiny hammer. He'll just be like, so I presume that the ferrocrete is treated with something, or else this would corrode over the centuries of use.
Oh,
Yes.
no, not at all, sir. The ferroconcrete can last for millennia. This throne of correction has been with the Skulla since it first was founded some 4,000 years ago.
I see.
Impressive.
Does Watchmaker actually notice any like shenanigans in the thing with
Yeah,
that?
like, is there anything that gives away that it's been modified that I can see from my scan?
No, when you actually get to the technical portion, the scanner just throws up like a bunch of basically like the technical version of a shrug.
Okay.
Loads of question marks, really.
Windows 10 code, QR code.
Yeah, it's
Strike
basically
Error has
Cruiser-
occurred.
Strike Cruiser's extended warranty.
it just shows like all Matrix like stuff flooding the screen. This gets into very arcane technology that.
Yeah, this is a bit beyond my. I'm gonna. What was one of the names of one of the higher up tech priests that we've worked with in the past? Like when we went to the Forge World.
Oh,
If you don't remember it off the top of your head, just assume I remembered it off the top of my head and I mention it, like conversationally to Gar, as if we've got this guy in our retinue of people we can ask for help with Archaeotech.
The fridge be right back.
Yeah. 1 second. I actually...
Basically, just like inverse gaslighting these people, trying to continue to build up the prop up legitimacy.
Yes. I'll say. So you went to Craella to pursue Magos Doric Jorm, and you met with.
We helped that guy take his place, who is almost definitely in charge behind the assassination, right?
Let's see here.
We stopped one, but helped another. Because we didn't care about his politicking as long as he was loyal to the Imperium.
I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to double check the. It's in my notes somewhere, but so well, from Craella, you had been hunting Magos Dormic Jorn, and he had assassinated Fabricator General Wolfram and Fabricator Locum Gerwin. And then it was like the other one who was.
Yeah, and then the guy we wound up working with. I definitely just remember him being like, "Oh dear, it seems everybody else in line for this prestigious position has died, leaving me the only one left. I guess I'll have to accept it and all this money."
Basically, yeah. So you would know that Fabricator General.
I'll just mention his name as if he's some. Like I said, just the idea that we can bend the ear of a Fabricator General casually, just to really make them think that we're up and up.
Okay, so the draw bit's like, oh yes, that's fine. I can see Craella. That name sounds familiar.
Yes, there was some business with their Forge Master a while back.
Yes, I believe the Fabricator General previously was wounded and then eventually died from his wounds due to an industrial accident.
Yes, and he is with his Omnissiah now.
Of course, yes, Craella. Well, I'll be sure to mention that. Well, you see the correction throne, so if you'd like, we can show you around. I can actually introduce you to several promising candidates who I think you might enjoy recruiting to your dueling school.
If it's not too much imposition, I would actually like to speak to. I know that the priest who attends the rites isn't here, but perhaps some of the Medicae specialists who see to the students before, during, and after their indoctrination.
Well, we can talk to. Well, we have a medic around. Yes, I can go and retrieve him if you'd like.
If you would, by your leave, my lord. He looks at Gar.
Guard just kind of nods.
Yep, come with me. And he
Be
leads you
my guest. Be my guest.
out of the the correction throne room. The door shuts, and you just hear the locks chunk chunk.
I love chunk chunk locks.
Leads you into an infirmary, and you see the medic there who had treated the one student who got his legs blown off.
Treated.
Technically, it's called the Emperor's Peace, I think.
Yeah. It's like triage, except you're not saving anybody.
And he has his Medicaid kit and a pistol at his side. Yes, can you...
You're a people doctor, not a horse doctor.
So medic comes forward, and the drill abbot just steps away after making the initial introduction. You wish to speak with me?
Yes, we had some questions about the process in using the throne.
Well, I mean, the throne, the Scala Progenium students are strapped into the throne, just to ensure that they don't make any jerking movements. Then the crown is placed over the head, and it injects needles into the neck and back of the skull, which will then place in the correction chemicals, which will allow them to become more appropriate for training. Let's put it that way.
Excellent, excellent. Are you,
Is there any special storage for these chemicals?
yeah, are you in charge of these chemicals? How are they,
Oh, no. Those chemicals are controlled by the tech priest. Yes, those are very special chemicals. And we get a supply shipped in every few months. We have to make sure that nothing happens.
Sorry.
They are specially manufactured and shipped to us.
and the tech priests handle all that?
Yes, they do.
I've heard that the tech priest in charge of the chair is actually not here right now.
He is not off-world, but he is, in fact, just visiting an Omnicide temple located here on Laran that is just while we're not expecting to have any students actually go to the correction throne currently.
It's interesting. I did see some students who seem to have been in the throne recently.
Yes, yeah, we have just... I was there making sure that none of them had any adverse reaction. They were the last group who was scheduled to go to the correction throne within the next couple of weeks.
Interesting. Now, speaking of adverse reactions, what types of adverse reactions do you see? And, how are those dealt with? Are there any long-term health effects?
Well, I would hope not. Some students have proven to be allergic to the chemicals.
Ah.
And then, of course... Well, no, I'm sorry. It's not my place to say.
I assume that's what the pistol's for.
As you mentioned, the pistol, he pats it. Well, better that they go quickly. I mean, once the chemicals are in and start working the reaction, the students have no other recourse but to let it continue. Best to deal with it quickly rather than let them suffer, right?
Of course. The Emperor is most merciful.
But it's not my place to mention any other adverse effects that don't require my immediate application of the Emperor's Peace.
I see. It's just that we're planning to acquire our own correction throne. I know that seems unlikely, but rest assured, we have our ways. And
Yes.
I'm just trying to learn all I can before, making such a commitment.
So go ahead and make... Well, how do you want to lean into him to get him to tell you?
Sorry.
I'll try and charm him.
Okay, go ahead and make a charm.
Charm is shit.
Not being charming.
That should be an auto pass.
69.
Well, it is a nice roll. Sir, you shouldn't worry yourself with anything like that. The correction throne is a most archaic and well-tested piece of Imperial technology, and we have had thousands and thousands of students pass through it with no reaction whatsoever.
Well, that is reassuring. I would be very interested in talking to the tech priests who administer the throne. This temple that he's gone to visit, is it a long journey?
Yes, it's around the equator. We're on the pole. I don't know if you saw when you approached. Well, at least I heard you had walked. I had hoped you'd have to walk the whole way here.
Yes, we walked from across the sector.
It sucked. Uphill both ways.
Well, anyway, yes, it's a few thousand kilometers away. But I suppose if you can acquire, I'm assuming your ship's nearby, and we could. I suppose you have to speak to the drill abbot. It's not my place to say, but we should have some equipment that can drive you to and from the landing pad that you parked at. I'm not sure which one you actually parked at, though.
Yes, don't worry about that. Okay. There's a point to chasing this guy.
Are there any hardline communications?
Oh yes, we have planetary Vox units. If you'd wish to make a call to that temple.
That may be good. How often does the throne see use? How many graduating classes are there, so to speak?
Oh well, the throne sees use. Well, the graduating classes we separated by year. Each class we tend to have several hundred students graduate from the Scala every year. So class sizes start a couple thousand strong and end several hundred strong.
Alright.
I couldn't give you exact numbers, as you can tell. As Imperial orphans come in, as the let's say the students who just wouldn't be good graduation material don't graduate, can fluctuate the numbers.
Reasonable. I'm certainly not asking you for year-by-year specifics. Simply trying to get a proper idea of the operation of the facility.
Well, I mean, you should expect every student who is graduating to have gone through the Throne of Correction.
Good.
Of course.
Alright. Let's go to the local Vox booth and see if we can call the temple and be like, hey, did this guy ever show up?
And I assume the tech priest must always be here to attend the rites. It's not something he simply maintains.
Oh yes. Well, sorry. Well, he's been there every time I've been there. But as far as I can tell, yes, the tech priest is there to both perform the proper rites to the machine spirit, as well as ensure that the chemical being used is properly administered, and basically anything to do with the technology of the correction tome. We want anything to happen to it, and it is supplied to us by the Adeptus Mechanicus, so it's their right to be there during the procedure.
Of course. What can you tell me of your tech priest's credentials? Such a rare piece of archaeotech surely demands only the finest the Imperium can offer. I want to see if I can, out of character, I want to see if I can figure out if this tech priest is in on sabotaging or modifying the throne.
Yeah.
Based off of where he came from, if we know he's been trucking in Ebony Syndicate circles.
I I figure he's either got to be in on it, or him not being here is part of the.
Yeah, like maybe he's dead and they've got like a weekend at Bernie's tech priest.
Yep, the medic you're talking to just lets you know. Well, I've never looked into his background. I'm sure he is a very well-respected, well-trained member of the Adeptus Mechanicus. I know he has maintained a good relationship with the headmaster for as long as I've been here, past few years. So I'm assuming their working relationship's good. Everything should be on the level. I mean, they wouldn't send just some amateur tech priest to us to maintain such an important throne of correction on one of the largest scalas in the sector.
Of course not. How often have you met this guy? I'm gonna scrutinize him to see if he fucking hates this guy as like a dumbass.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a scrutiny.
Nice.
Um,
Maybe they got like somebody who sucks at the job, but he's a yes man or he's a heretic.
Yeah, so this guy, as he talks about the tech priest, is... He gets a little nervous when he talks about the tech priest. Doesn't really want to, like... He's basically, like, every time he talks about it, he just rattles through it very quickly. And he's like, I've only met him once in a while, either passing in the hall or by just being in the room while we administer the correction throne. So, but
do bionics make you uncomfortable?
no, not at all, sir.
You just can't put my finger on it, but you seem a little hesitant of the good tech priest.
It's not my place to say, sir. I'm sorry, I have to get back to work. And he turns to walk away.
Guard, you want to command him or charm him?
What do we want him to do?
Basically, I want to see if I can get him to spill the beans about this tech priest. He's being evasive.
I will command him. You, spill the beans.
All right.
I like how when we try to roleplay, we roll critical fails, and when we're just like, you, plot me, it always works.
He stops in his tracks, looks around. Look.
Yes, that's right, you.
You
were not dismissed.
It's not really my place to say, and don't go spreading rumors that I'm the one who told you, but the tech priest in charge of this correction throne has certain reputation for investigating more profane... You know what, I'm gonna just leave it at that. The drill abbot is here to see you. And
indeed, yes.
the drill abbot the drill abbot who had been leading around the second one walks in, and the medic makes sure to like run back to the end of the room to get back to work quite quickly.
Interesting. All right, well, that's useful information. It sounds like he's probably part of the scheme. Good to know.
We could get our hands on him. We could
pick him up and kiss him. They hate that. Heretics hate that.
Yeah, they do.
No! Mwah!
I don't know. We could pressure him, try to expose him. I don't know. Let's think about that one.
Yeah.
But you do have access to the Vox unit on the that would access the planetary Vox system.
Yeah, let's call the temple and just see if he actually went there or not.
Okay. So you, the drill abbot is like, you want to call the Adeptus Mechanicus main temple on this world?
Yes, we just have a quick technical question for you.
Very well. and he leads you into a comms room. And there is a communications officer there, like orders him to dial into the Omnicide's temple. Gets yep, we got a response. One of the attendant tech priests there.
Good.
And he hands you the communicator.
Yes, you there. I just had a quick question. The headmaster wanted to check on something. He wanted us to check on something with. Have we got the guy's name? We haven't got the guy's name yet.
You haven't gotten the name of the head tech priest there. In fact, you've only been referring to him as like head tech priest.
The skull is head. There's only going to be like one of them, so.
We're calling to check on head tech priest.
Grimalt, you.
Did he arrive as scheduled?
So the comms officer just fills you in. It's tech priest Magos Grimalt Lewis, sir.
Yes. Did
Remote
he
Lewis.
arrive?
That's what I said.
So the tech priest you're talking to is younger, hasn't had the full conversion from flesh to metal. It's like, yes, the Magos is here, sir. He arrived just a few days ago. I believe he maintains a lab here and has gone to collect some spare parts and finish some experiments before heading back to the Scala.
Okay, very good. Yeah, we just wanted to check on transport, make sure no
Did
problems
you-
there. All right, thank you.
Wait, did you want to talk to him? Why did?
Oh,
If he's free.
so did you guys want to talk to him?
We can ask him some politely banal questions and let him brush us off just to keep our cover.
Actually, yes, we would like to speak to him if he's available.
I will patch you through now, sir. You're actually in luck because he is in between ministering prayers to the machine spirit as well as some of his experiments. One moment while I send you to his personal Vox unit, sir. So it switches, at which point you hear phone pickup. Yes, you wish to speak to me.
Nice. How long you been sitting on that one?
Couple weeks.
Oh,
Yes.
delightful.
Head Priest Lewis, it is I, Herman Adela of House Adela. I'm sure you've heard of me.
No, I haven't.
Well, anyway, I'm here visiting, touring the Scola. I, in fact, have my own school on my home world where we train the finest duelists in the sector. And I'm here reviewing your training methods and materials. We've viewed your correction throne. It's very impressive. We just had some questions about your training process and some of the more technical aspects of the correction. I kind of drone on for a while.
Is there a point?
Well, I was just wondering, how long does the effect of the correction throne last? Is it really that effective?
The correction throne will last until death. That is his purpose.
That is impressive. All right. Well, would it be possible for us to have a closer look at it?
No.
In return.
No. This is a very specific piece of technology. It is very difficult to repair or replace if anything were to happen to it. And I would prefer you not take a further look at this device.
Indeed. Well, I do understand. How soon will you be returning to the Scola? I would love to speak further.
I will be returning in the next few days. I have some experiments I need to finish up here before I return to the Scola.
All right.
Today we're gonna find out the effects of drugs on me.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Head make us out.
Well, that went well.
I'm glad I got back to the voice change slightly.
It's always fun. I wanted one for a long time, and I never found a good one.
So is that an external kit or is that like a software filter?
Yeah, it's basically a piece of software, and then what it does is it takes your audio input, my mic in this case, and then for like the various like things like Zoom and other stuff, I have to have Zoom's audio input swapped over to that bit of software.
Gotcha. Clever though.
Use it in our meeting on Wednesday.
I think Eric would be pissed.
I still need to do a Zoom meeting with my Wiggler hat and just aim the camera 3 feet up.
Um,
You could just say that your laptop is like spazzing out.
I think he would probably figure out right away what was going on. Anyway, so yeah, the Vox cuts off.
Well, he's a peach.
Yeah, nice guy. All right. Be nice if we could just like sort this out by the time he gets back. Just
No.
arrested this.
We probably can.
What was our mandate here again? Was it?
We got to neutralize the headmaster and stop the conversion of students with the throne. I believe.
Yep. Yeah, you were told that the headmaster, Berwin Flax, is also the head of the Ebony Syndicate, and that the Inquisition believes he's using the Correction Throne to basically brainwash people into becoming Ebony Syndicate members.
Perhaps we can retire to our tent and make plans.
That's solid.
Well, are we planning on like destroying the correction throne? Because maybe they could use the correction throne
No,
to
'cause-
correct the corrected people.
Maybe, but we wouldn't want to destroy it anyway. The thing about 40k tech is that if we destroy this, there's no way to rebuild it.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
actually
roger
use this
that.
for normal Imperial function.
Okay.
Yes.
Perhaps we could disable it somehow.
We could probably sabotage it.
Like fuck up their chemical supply.
Um,
5 players destroy throne in home game. Affects all Warhammer players worldwide.
well, you would affect this sector for a little while.
Also, at some point in passing, I will share with the team about the missing items from the armory.
Oh yeah, and I'll pass on what I heard from the comms leech quietly.
Okay. So the Drill Abbot leads you back to your tent. How long do you think you'll be here? I'm sure you've seen quite a number of people who you may wish to recruit to your dueling school, and we'd be certainly happy.
Yes, I've been very impressed. I plan to stay here for the next 3 to 5 days and just observe the training methods and the students, and
We may even be of some use to you.
we may. At the
Well,
end of that time, I'll make offers to those who have stood out.
well, why don't we? We were hoping that this is a school. We don't really host many visitors. We were hoping that you would be able to make your selection by tomorrow and then vacate the grounds. We're not kicking you out, of course. We just,
Of course not. That would be incredibly rude.
as you can see, we only have a tent, and we don't host noble families at all.
Well, you should prepare yourself.
I've already prepared, I've handpicked a list of students who I think would serve quite well at your dueling school and would be able to train many of the students you're bringing in.
Well, that's excellent. I will take that list under advisement, but we will need to take our time to review the list and observe the students ourselves.
I think in proper spirit of an exchange of gifts for hosting us, we can be of some use to you as well as you are to us. We can monitor and certainly not gainsay your training methods, but we might be able to provide some hands-on experience with the likes of, and kind of nod to Tigo without saying his name because I can't remember his alias right now.
Neither can I. Sounds
I
like
don't
Delacroix.
actually. Well, I guess you'd probably go with like Tigo's. It was something French.
I don't remember.
Hon Bigot.
No, it was like Delacroix something. I don't
Yeah, Delacroix.
remember. Martine Delacroix.
So the drill abbot's like, oh well, you are our guests here. We certainly wouldn't want you to have to do anything. And these training methods, as done by the Scala here, have been in effect for as long as the school has been here. Have been properly approved by the Adeptus Ministorum. And while I'm sure you have some good advice to offer, we would prefer to stick to our standard training regimen.
Could we maybe hold like a tournament, like with the students that they offer? That way to like drag out our time.
Surely you could let our Blade Master test the mettle of some of your finest directly. There's no substitute for the hands-on experience. I served in the Guard, I can tell you that.
Make a charm test to like try and convince this dude.
Get it, meh.
Probably like this guy will just kill him off.
I think that a live contest would be quite revealing. I think it's a good idea.
I can guarantee you that these graduates are some of the best we have to offer, and they will be an excellent addition to your dueling school. I don't feel there's any need to have them fight each other to show you.
No, each other, of course not. Him. Just point at Tigo. Certainly not to the death. These are prime students nearing graduation. We would not ever harm the Emperor's property.
Yes, of course, but you have to trust us on this. I mean, you've come to us to get these students, so you must obviously feel that they are worthy of your dueling school. You just have to trust that they are, in fact, going to serve you well. Training students and whatever else you need from them. Please take a look at this list. He hands you a list of 4 different students. If you wish to recruit all 4, they will serve as excellent trainers at your school. And of course, we'd also have to discuss price.
Indeed. I'll think about it.
So each of these students would be 50,000 thrones to acquire their service from our Scala.
Gar just like slowly. He's like, hold on. I know you're eager to make a deal here, but we do need to take our time and observe. We'll take this list and we will observe the students on it, and we will come back to you in a few days' time with our decision.
Okay. Well, if
We'll also need the use of at least this tent for the duration of our stay. You'll need to relocate these students who are staying here in this tent.
you know, why don't I secure you the use of a hotel? We have a ship here that can take you to a section of the planet that actually does have facilities that would be able to house you, house nobles of your stature.
I think we need to see the students in their environment.
Yeah, we need to observe the students in their natural environment. So if there are no better quarters available here, this tent will do. You'll just need to relocate these few.
I'm sure they could train in camping out in the field for a night.
Very well. Just goes to the student and just like, well, he's been very nice and pleasant to you. He just barks, "You out now!" And like they all were at attention, and they just like more rigid, and they just march out of the tent. The last one, he like takes the hammer and just kind of hits him in the shin. Faster! March! Faster! I'll be back tomorrow to check in with you, see if you need anything.
Well, thank you.
Well, enjoy your stay as best you can. I must admit, I've never met any nobles who were so willing to rough it. I am actually a little impressed.
Yes, we are very impressive.
I love Gar.
Oh,
I want to be
I
Gar
almost
when I grow up.
I wanted to ask. So you have a stormtrooper with you? And he points to Dave 3.
Yes, Dave 3, a member of my guard.
Interesting.
Can we call him Dave 3?
What's that?
He doesn't actually have a name. He has a number. I never expected to see a stormtrooper working for a noble house. I thought they had all been retained by either the Imperial Guard or Inquisitors or whoever would be able to secure their service within the actual Imperial.
We have considerable reach in several fields beyond what you might normally expect from your run-of-the-mill noble. House Adela is anything but run-of-the-mill. We've had a strange path to power, but we're here.
Go ahead and make a deception checker. I think it's deception, right? Whatever the lie.
Deceive. Yeah.
Deceive. Lie
I don't
check.
suppose I could get some help with this. I'm untrained and my fellowship is 30. I have a 1 in 10 shot.
I'll help here. Oh, wait.
Fucking hell.
No.
Yes, of course. I'm sure House Adela has shown themselves to be quite an unorthodox noble house, but you certainly apparently have your resources.
Oh my, yes.
Well, I'll be off. Please let me know if you need anything.
Oops, I closed the damn window again.
You goose! You belong to the lake because you're a silly goose.
My god.
So, and it's at this point, like, actually you're near the pole, so it's, your watch would tell you it is, oh yeah, if anybody wants a chrono, you can have one. It's a watch. You can get one anywhere. Your watch would tell you it's approaching nighttime, but because you're at the pole, it isn't. It's a long day. It's like...
Why don't we just wait here a while, see what happens?
We, like, from our family fears, we wish you were here.
I love that one.
So we could probably use the.
But yeah, it's basically.
Not be eavesdropped upon in the tent, right?
Well, I mean, it's a tent. It's basically like whatever 40K canvas is.
Thus my thinking we could be overheard if we don't employ something.
Yeah.
We have a pen and pad.
Maybe you have a data slate you could use.
So clearly he wants us out for a reason.
Well, I mean, we're driving them fucking insane. That might have something to do with things.
But I mean,
We
I've
know what they're up to.
I've enjoyed you and Gar driving him insane. These guys.
It has been fun.
You know, we know what they're up to.
We also know.
They don't know that we know.
Yeah,
we also know the headmaster's not here. Apparently.
No,
not in his office.
Well, oh yeah, good point.
Yeah, he's. People are suspecting things.
So he's somewhere. Logically.
Maybe our next move is to try to get an audience with him.
Maybe.
See what falls out.
Any snooping we can do?
We might be able to slip out.
Well, it's currently evening, although it's still pretty bright outside. It would be.
1 or 2 hours of darkness.
Yeah, it'd be something like that.
Smoke
So.
bomb, run out.
It's still pretty bright outside, but it is in the evening. Most of the students have retreated to their barracks.
What about another comm leech?
By this point, it would have recharged its battery.
Yeah, I'll give it a whirl. Howie. Come on, load up. Thank you. Tech use.
Your comm leech is able to pick up a lot of like chatter, but it's nothing that's necessarily important. But the battery doesn't drain beyond like needing an hour to recharge.
Okay, so not a bad fail. All right, that's something.
So they wanted us away from the throne. Is it tampered that bad that if you're that close that you'd notice it?
That's up to you to find out.
I mean, we are unexpected nobles. They might think twice before they show us anything.
You've also been saying like, yeah, we're gonna get our own correction throne. Don't worry, guys.
Don't worry about how. But we're
To
gonna
be
get
fair,
it.
we've done a pretty good job of conveying that atmosphere.
We're more powerful than
Like,
you think you are.
I want these fuckers to think we've got rogue trader money. I mean, we have Inquisition money, but I want them to think we personally have rogue trader money. Like, I want to fuck a Tyranid. Bring me a Tyranid. That's super heretical, and I'm a rogue trader. What's your point?
So if we look at the like compound, would we be able to like kind of distinguish where the headmaster would have his office?
Well, you haven't been given like a blueprint, but you've been walked around. It's basically like blank ferro concrete halls that just kind of like twist and turn and go on, and you don't really know where it is.
Any chance? Well, it would. I guess that would fall into sneaking out. I was gonna say we could try to sneak out and get like a blueprint or something, or a floor plan.
Have we seen any place where that would be acquirable?
You've only been marched to and from like specific rooms, and you haven't really been given like the overview of where you can get a blueprint from. So you'd have to go out and search for it yourself.
We could potentially do that. Maybe one or both of the sneakers. How many fate points do you have left for the session, Ed?
2.
Yeah. Why don't you be the sneaky sneak?
Yeah.
Of course, we're near the end of the session anyway.
Yeah. Do I have any idea where I want to go for this? Like, it would just be a guess.
You've only been so you've been to a few places. You've been to 2 separate training rooms, the medical infirmary and the comms room.
Which one of those seems like it would have a blueprint of the area, most likely?
Or where we might be able to hack in and get one.
Yeah.
Would the comms room have like a layout of like the different numbers? I don't know. For the different rooms.
Find the phone book.
I'm looking for a phone book. What the hell's a phone book?
What the hell's a phone? What the hell's an aluminum falcon? This might be a good pause point if you don't have one coming up.
Well, I mean, it is approaching the 2-hour mark, so we could call it.
That's fine.
Yeah, seems like a good idea.
We got a good amount done, and this way we're not going to get power fucked by the dice without fate points.
All right.
You know what's gonna happen? I was gonna probably roll 100 on my stealth.
Probably.
Twice in a row.
Of course. Let's see. So, although I'm curious, so are you just basically gathered around in a circle discussing all this?
Probably trying to be subtle, like we're not like loudly discussing the plans.
We should steal the blueprints to the area so we can bomb the place down.
My thought is we just kind of
We could be
don't
writing
make
stuff down or whatever.
yeah.
Using the data sleeve.
Like maybe we're getting together and doing a huddle based on what we've seen. So when they walk by, it sounds like we're discussing. Like, all right, do you think this guy's worth hiring? Here's what he was good at. Here's what he was bad at. Like, I'll leave those papers out. Like I'm going through dossiers.
All right. Well, while you're distracted with that, though, Watchmaker, you feel the blade of a sword press against your throat, and
That's
you just hear somebody whisper in your ear, "Mon chéri," and it is the you recognize it as the voice of Louis Louette, the Hussar's death cult assassin.
Oh, hello.
And we're gonna end it there for today.
Nice. What a surprise.
Damn difficult assassin. You're out of nowhere.
Oh, I rolled a really good stealth roll for her. Like
I
she's
kinda
already
figured.
she's already pretty well trained in stealth, and then I rolled like a 30.
Nice.
Yeah.
So to counter that, what would we have had to roll?
Well, if she rolled really shit, you would have had to I would have given you a chance to roll like an awareness, but I need this more for story purposes more than anything.
Yeah.
That's valid.
I was gonna say, well,
I trust you not to be that dude who's like, okay, you've been caught at knife point and you're dead. Fuck you.
No, I'm gonna give you a chance to not like. don't worry about it. Like, I just want to. It's a good jumping point for next week.
Statistically speaking, what was our chances to survive? One.
This is a good point.
I know.
It is.
Twist.
Um,
Why are they here?
well, you were told the Hussars troops would be here.
Yeah, and we do know they're involved with the Ebony Syndicate, so if they know, we know. Which they might know now, depending on whether she was listening in for a long time.
Well, they're not part of the Ebony Syndicate. This is months ago, but during the inquisitorial conclave, you were told that he basically was like grasping at straws and taking like desperately attempting to like stop the Ebony Syndicate.
Interesting.
So is he like trying to be the one that's responsible for stopping them to like get some kind of prestige?
He is especially because Jocelyn wasn't there when it happened. Not Hussar. Hussar. Yeah, Sutton is his interrogator. Hussar is the Inquisitor. He is the protege of the Lord Inquisitor of the what is it? Heretic? What is it? The inquisitorial thing. The Hereticus. Ordo Hereticus. Thank you. He is the protege of the Lord Inquisitor of Ordo Hereticus for the sector, and is basically like expected to become the new Lord Inquisitor of Ordo Hereticus for this the sector you're in, the Escalian sector, once that guy either dies or retires.
Didn't we have evidence that he was working with the Syndicate though?
The book we were after.
Yeah, the book.
Well, that's the heretical tome.
We
know these guys deal in xenotech, but they've just got a bound demon host somewhere, and they're doing heretical shit.
Yeah, you were told. Let's see. Hellscythe told you he suspects that he has a book of demonic lore called Secrets of the Hidden Path. That he had acquired from a heretic.
He claimed he destroyed it and submitted the records of that, but we are pretty sure he falsified the destruction.
All right, so we think he's probably a heretic, but that doesn't necessarily mean he works with or for the Syndicate.
Yeah, he could have his own agenda.
We kind of made that connection on our own, but it wasn't really necessarily there. Okay, all right, I can dig it.
Cool.
All right, so 2 hours at play, 200 XP, and we will pick this up next week.
Cool. I have 1,000 in the bank. I think I'm going to try to save it up for this whole mission and then buy something fucking huge.
Yeah, I'd recommend that.
Fucking something. See.
All right, I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.
Yes, goodbye. It was fun.
Well.
Bye.